Hello mga ka-Englishero at mga ka-Englishera! Welcome back to another learning session with me, Ma'am Cha. For today's session, we will be discussing comparing and contrasting own opinions with those presented in familiar text. Let's begin! Comparing and contrasting own opinions with those presented in familiar text. One of the most important skills in reading is to be able to compare and contrast. It is considered as one of the first higher-order reading comprehension skills. When you're comparing something, you are looking for similarities. On the other hand, when you are contrasting, you are looking for differences. Let us see the following synonyms for similarity and difference for you to understand more what to look for if you are comparing and contrasting something. For similarities, we have the synonyms alikeness, likeness, sameness, and similitude. For differences, we have unlikeness, dissimilarity, and dissimilitude. Here are the following grammatical markers in comparing and contrasting. For comparing, we can use like as well as, also, resemble, similar to, both, likewise, and same as. For contrasting, we can use unlike, although, whereas, in contrast to, as opposed to, on the contrary, on the other hand, however, and different from. Comparing and contrasting things in the presented text. Let us read a poem entitled Call by Jonamel S. Dionisio. Smartphones and telephones are both used for communications. Each needs signals to make a call, but smartphones can be used in any locations. Telephones are used only for calls, while smartphones have lots of functions. Similarly, smartphones and telephones are useful. Also, these phones are making people's life meaningful. Still, in using any of the two, everyone should be careful. In comparing and contrasting things in presented text, you have to ask yourself the following questions. Question number 1. What are the things being compared and contrasted? In this case, those things are smartphones and telephone. The next question is, how are smartphones and telephones the same? And the last question is, how are smartphones and telephones different? Let us use this Venn diagram to see the similarities and differences of smartphones and telephones. Let us begin with the similarities. Both are used for communication. Both need signal to make calls, and both are useful in making people's life meaningful. We will now go to the differences. Smartphones can be used anywhere and has lots of functions, whereas telephone can't be brought anywhere and can only be used for calls. Now that we know the similarities and the differences of telephones and smartphones, let us express their similarities and differences in the form of sentences. For similarities, we have, according to the poem, smartphones and telephones are the same because both are used for communications, both need signal to make calls, and both are useful in making people's life meaningful. So what are the grammatical markers used in comparing? We have here the word both. For differences, we have, according to the poem, smartphones and telephones are different because smartphones can be used anywhere or in any location, unlike telephone that can be brought anywhere. Smartphones have a lot of functions unlike telephones that can only be used for calls. So what are the grammatical markers used to show the differences? We have here the word unlike. So, we clearly see the similarities and differences between smartphones and telephones. Let us now move on to comparing and contrasting own opinion with the presented text. I have here a poem entitled The Gift by Jonamel S. Dionisio. Mothers are gifts from above. They are the best blessings we have. They not just taught us to live, but also taught us to believe. Mothers give us everything we want. They even accepted all of our rants. Still, they love us unconditionally and care for us immeasurably. So what do we do when we compare and contrast our own opinion with a presented text? This time, you will be giving your own opinion whether you agree or disagree with the writer's statement. You can use the following guide questions. Number 1, what are the characteristics of mothers according to the text? Number 2, which of these characteristics do you agree with? And number 3, which of these characteristics do you not agree with? Here is an example of expressing one's opinion with those presented in the text. The first thing that you need to do is to state whether you agree or disagree with the statement presented in the text. You have to mention the statement that you agree with and you don't disagree with. Do not forget to mention the reason why you agree or disagree with a certain statement. We have here the example, I agree with the writer of the poem that mothers are gifts from above, and they are the best blessings we have. Also, I agree that they taught us to live and believe because my mother taught me to believe in myself and in God. That was so true that mother's love is unconditional and immeasurable. So the person here believes in the following statement. Mothers are gift from above. Another, they are the best blessings we have. Next, they taught us to live and believe. Lastly, mother's love is unconditional and immeasurable. The person also mentioned the reason why he or she believes in the following statements. Because my mother taught me to believe in myself and in God. The grammatical marker used in this example is also. Let us now move on to another example. On the other hand, I don't agree with the first and second lines in the second stanza. For my mother doesn't give me what I want, but what I just need. And she doesn't accept my rants, instead she makes a way to discipline me. So the person here doesn't agree with the following first and second lines in the second stanza. And the reason is, my mother doesn't give me what I want, but what I just need. And she doesn't accept my rants, instead she makes a way to discipline me. The person used, on the other hand, as the grammatical marker for contrasting. Let us now move on to Brain Gym. Identify the grammatical markers in comparing and contrasting. You can use the table for your answers. For those who are participating in the live chat, you can chat your answers. Just type comparing and then your answer, and contrasting, then your answer. You may start now. Let's see if you got all the answers correctly. For comparing, we have like, likewise, same as, and also. For contrasting, we have unlike, in contrast to, and whereas. Did you get all the answers correctly? I hope so. So this is the end of our session for today. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Enjoy learning. Keep learning. Bye!